I went 8 years, so that means you go in the 8th circle, which that's a real big deal. And I mean, just some of the things that I'll tell you about camp that sets it apart from other camps. So James Avery is a jeweler that started, what, in 1960s? Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. Right around the time we opened up.
Right around the time Camp Huawni opened up, which is 1965. Does that sound right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm good. Not research, I will tell you.
Hey, but you know it, and that's awesome.
And James Avery started then. Well, he agreed to make jewelry for Camp Huawni back in 1965, and he still does custom jewelry for Camp Huawni. It's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. So, like, I guess you get the log H your second year. Is that right?
I think so. Yes, ma'am.
And anyway, you get a piece your second year, your fourth year, your fifth year, your seventh, and your 8th year. The 8th is gold, and it's like real expensive. So I've never bought it because I was a counselor then. And you'd only get it free when you're a camper. So I don't have the gold, but I have the silver one. I should have worn it. Anyway, so I went there for years and years and grew up there and learned a lot. I feel like I learned how to deal with different people in life, and different struggles. You live in a cabin with 12 other people for 2 weeks. You learn a lot. Like, I mean, they have cabin inspection. It's pretty throwback. They have a lot like it was when I was there, but also it's a little more strict probably than we were back then, because you got by with a lot.
a little more guidelines, not necessarily strict guidelines.
Guidelines, yes.
Yeah.
And Travis is the owner of the camp, and he went to camp with me all my life. He's 2 years younger than me. His sister is my age, and we're still good friends today. So if I ever have a problem, I email Travis directly. And he gets right on it, make sure we're all good. But the boys have been going for 5 years. They went for 1 week the first 3 years that they went, which was the first week, the starter session. Then they went 2 weeks. Finn was coming out of first time he went. He was a little homesick. But then when they went their 2 weeks, not this past year, but the year before, he's like, we should have gone this 2 weeks all along, because I feel like we really were able to connect. And anyway, this year I picked him up, and Miller's like, next year I really want to stay all summer. And I was like, okay, buddy, you meet me halfway on the price and we'll come. You can come all summer next summer. But I think this year was really great because we had COVID and everybody been living in the house and scared to death. And I was able just to send my kids off maskless for the most part to camp. They were really wonderful. Like, we did everything from our car. It was less work for me because I didn't have to go make all their beds in the heat.
Yep.
Dumped their stuff. Someone jumped in my car, got the stuff out, and threw it in the car when we got left. So to my knowledge, we didn't have one COVID case there this summer, right?
Yeah, we didn't have any COVID amongst camper or staff all summer.
It's amazing because
awesome.
Shut down this summer.
Oh, yeah.
Or take time off, like almost all of them, besides Camp Huawni. And Camp Huawni was different because it's smaller than a lot of these other very big city camps. Like Pine Cove is very well known, as you know, but it's everywhere, and everybody goes and everybody knows about it. This is a little hidden gem in East Texas that not everybody knows about. And we kind of like it that way. My sister and I are like, we have a gym and we don't want anybody to know, really. We do, but we don't, because we don't want it filled with all their friends from home always, We like them to meet other people and have their camp life, too. But anyway, the boys loved it. And Miller said, I cannot wait to be a counselor. And Finn said he feels the most confidence he has ever felt in his life when he was at camp this summer.
Oh, that's nice.
Maybe the boosting, and we do this tribal competition. It lasts for a week. There's 2 teams. You're either on one team or the other for the rest of your life. So the rest of your life of going there, and that's cool because they didn't have that then. It was a little different, but it makes them really get into the tribal competition more because there's definitely one team that always seems to win. So we have a little upset about that and negativity about that, but I'm trying to boost the other team up, and they usually don't put siblings on the same team, it seems, right?
Right. It's fun unless some parents request it. It's fun to have them on opposite teams sometimes.
Yeah, it brings the rivalry in.
Exactly.
So Cross and Finn is Caddo. One's blue, one's red. So if you know their team, you don't get to know their team until they're already at camp, their first year. But it does come out, and everybody's waiting for it on the computer to see who are the new people on the new teams, and then you can drop ship them some shirts for their team. So anyway, they really like that. They do basketball. They do like a triathlon. I think the triathlon was separate this year. Triathlon wasn't part of the thing, right?
We moved it to it was a little separate from travel this summer.
Okay, yeah.
Something new.
So Miller's one of those that's like, yeah, I'll do it. I want to do it all. But Finn did not want to do the triathlon. Last minute, second, he's like, can I still get in, do it? And he did. He said it was his, on his, whatever his camper, counselors will send you an update and send you a letter while they're at camp and kind of give you how your kid's doing. And Finn said the favorite thing he ever did was triathlon. And I'm like, what? And he almost didn't do it. So it's kind of one of those places that you can just do everything and everybody's there to boost you up regardless if you are good or not. But anyway, do y'all have any questions?
What's a typical day in the life of?
Yeah. Do you want to take that one, Katie, or would you like me to take
I can try it, but it's changed a little bit, and I get what my boys say. Yeah. So on a typical normal day, they usually have 3 activities in the morning and 3 activities in the afternoon, which is divided by lunch that's in air conditioning and a rest period that's in the cabin. They can write letters, read books, play games, take a nap, or whatever. It's kind of hot, but there's no AC in the cabins. And it's all windows up all the time unless it's raining. You put your flag down, and they have good big fans in there. And I think it's one of my kids' favorite things. Like, never heard them complain about it. They love to brag about it. And I remember when I was taking Miller and Finn, I was like, if they have AC, I'm not going to be happy. Because that's like what I remember. And that's why I love Texas so much, I think, from growing up at camp. And I love the smell of bug spray and the bug spray, I think, at camp. But anyway, so they do that. So morning, they're asleep, the cabin. The counselors usually go to a meeting in the morning. They come, wake up all the kids with some obnoxious songs and obnoxiousness. And I do those a lot at home still for school. Way up in the sky, So anyway. And so then they do flag raising. Everybody goes to the flagpole hill. And usually the oldest girls' cabin want a lot of attention, and they get up there and do their thing and do a dance or do a song or sing something to somebody or make fun of somebody or do something. And then they raise the flag, do all the pledge allegiance and everything, and then everybody runs off to breakfast. And then after breakfast, they have a period of time where they go into the cabin to get dressed, brush, clean their cabin. And then they have inspection. And then after inspection, I think is probably the first activity. The activities are divided, girls and boys. They're not mixed. They're in a group, and usually it's typically their cabin mates, maybe a few others mixed depending on the ages. And typically their cabins are of course separated by ages as well. And there's a boys' side of camp on the flagpole, one side of the flagpole hill, and girls' side on the other. Different bathhouses. Stuff like that. But the only time the girls and boys mix is kind of in the evening. So then in the evening, they'll have dinner after their last activity. Maybe after, they have a little free time, then they have dinner, and then we have more free time, and then it's usually an evening activity, depending on what's going on. So like skit night. Also, we have a day called Phantom's Play Day, and it's always a surprise of what day that's going to be. And I saw this year, what did they do? Squirt them with water guns or do something like that?
Yeah, so we do this thing we play this song where some of the kids may or may not get thrown in the pool, depending on where they are. But because COVID, we didn't want to be touching people, so we started, and the kids know it's coming every summer. They hear this song and they just start running. Scattering. So they just start scattering. We blast this song throughout camp. So we got a bunch of water guns and just ran around squirting them right before breakfast just to wake them up and get them excited for play day. To let them know that today's going to be a little different and today's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Play day's like just messy and goofy, and everybody dresses as goofy and that they can be in different colors, which actually, do the boys do play day anymore?
So the boys do something called uprising, which is
Yeah, the
where,
colors.
oh, it's awesome. We take them
Mhm.
out. Well, we're pretty much always in the woods anyways, but we take them out to a little clearing in the woods and they play capture the flag. But they have they have like some pine cones and that's kind of their dodgeballs. So they like hide their flags. It doesn't really hurt. It's just pine cones, you know.
They're all wearing
So
like.
yeah, they're all wearing camo and black and hiding their flag in the woods and running around trying to capture.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So kind of I don't know. I think they did uprising when I was there too. I think I was the sissy girl that didn't participate. I think back then we could choose or something.
Okay.
I don't think I ever did uprising, but they had it when I was going to camp. But and is the Wild Woman hunt the same night? No.
It's after
No.
cookouts, so it's not the same night, no man.
My other favorite thing was Wild Woman. They have a Wild Woman at camp, and they'll tell you stories about how she was seen in these cabins. And Willow Glen is this haunted girls' cabin that's really well known for. And there's lots and lots and lots of these. What do you call them? Stories. What's your favorite, Trevor? Trevor, are you there still?
I think he's on mute right now.
He's probably
Yeah,
working.
I muted it because I'm about to start court. But I like to tell the kids that I met Katie she was the wild woman at camp, and I tamed her, and I brushed her hair, and I taught her English, and I
That's
civilized.
awesome.
And what about the Blue Wolf? That's your favorite.
I do like the Blue Wolf. The kids tell me all about it. I love that they love to go someplace with no air conditioning and no electronics for 2 weeks without us, and they look forward to it all summer, and they love it. So yeah. That's pretty much all you need to know. If you think of your young teenage son wanting to go to a place for 2 weeks in the middle of nowhere with no electronics and no air conditioning, you know he loves that place.
Yeah. That was my next question are they without their phones? That's good.
Right. We recommend the parents just keeping their phones with them. But if not, we'll make sure we get all the phones up. The kids don't have any phones, iPads, computers. The closest they get to technology is we play music over speakers.
Nice.
Yeah.
I gotta go though. Thank you.
Do have,
Okay.
Thanks,
Bye.
Trevor.
Bye. They do have a way to, which I found, I hate writing letters anymore. And they do electronic email things, and they print them out and leave them on the kids' beds.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent them an email like a couple of times during their time there, and they can reply back to us. I will tell you, Miller does not reply back in a story. It will not reply back.
Shocker.
Yeah.
The amount of times parents call and they're like, "Hey, why haven't they written me back?" We're like, "We're trying. They don't want to write letters right now." And like we try really hard, and we're like, "Hey, they want to hear from you. Write the letter."
If Finn did this year, usually he always does and tells me something, but this year I do not think he did, because I think he really was this age was perfect. My sister's girls go, but they had to go to a different session this year just because of dance got in the way of their session. We went to third or second, I guess. Wait, I go to third. So they had to go to fourth. And so now we have a really upsetting time in our family because they don't want to transfer out of fourth now, and mine don't want to transfer out of third. So they're not going to go together, I'd guess, unless something changes this year. But they were both bawling, my sister said, when she picked them up. She definitely kind of, we pick them up and see them bawling.
I have one more question. Is it faith-based at all, or do they
Yes, ma'am.
prayer?
So we, as the people who run Camp Huawni, we are believers, but this is one of the reasons I love Camp Huawni is we kind of liken it to like a Chick-fil-A or a Magnolia. Hey, we're believers. We're not going to hide that, but we're not pushing that on the kids, right? We're not making them wake up and pray, wake up and do other things, because we want to be able to bring everybody in and just love them for who they are. We do have what's called Little Red Church, which has happened since camp opened, I think, where on Sunday we all go to this old church and sing, like, He's Got the Whole World in Our Hands, 1 or 2 other songs. And there's a short, like 10, 15-minute message. But outside of that, we have an optional Bible study the kids can come to called SOJ, which is spiritual orange juice. So, like I
Mine
said, so go ahead.
I said mine don't go. I haven't heard about it much.
Yeah, that's okay. But that's what we love about it, is that anybody can come. We're not going to push it on people. Our goal is to love them, for them to see their own true significance and purpose. And if conversations happen about faith and stuff, that's awesome. But that's where we rely on that.
Yeah.
Very
Travis
cool.
family that started, especially Mike's family, they're very religious family, and Travis as well is definitely the family that took it over is a very religious family. Growing up, I hung out with them at their house all the time growing up.
Awesome.
Too.
So when is sign up now or?
Yes, ma'am. So you can start signing up now. If you look in the chat, I sent in all of the dates as well as your registration link. And we also have a discount code. So if you were to register within 48 hours of this phone call and put in the code, you'll get $250 off a 2-week session, and then $150 off a 1 week.
Okay.
We are offering a discount. And that you don't have to pay all up front. You can pay a payment plan over months.
Okay. So I would just need to look at the sessions. Is it just 1 2-week session, or are you saying there's 4 2-week sessions and you pick one?
So we have 2 1-week sessions, which we call our starter sessions, because for a lot of parents who maybe their kids are a little nervous about being gone for 2 weeks, maybe they're a little nervous about it. So it's a 1-week session. And then we have 3 2-week sessions in between 2 1 weeks. So, and those are, we just call them main session 1, main session 2, main session 3.
Okay. So Katie, y'all are going to main session 3?
Is that what you call it? It's the third session, so it's main session 2, right?
Yeah, it's a little confusing, but main session 2 is session 3.
Mine's 26th through July 10th or something. I'm like,
yes, ma'am.
Yes. 10th.
Yes, ma'am. 27th through the 10th.
Yeah.
June 27th through July 10th.
Yes, ma'am. And if you like, if I could even email y'all this information as well, if that would be helpful. If y'all just want to put your emails in the chat, I'll write them down and I'll send you all of this info.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I don't know if I know how. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. If you would like to just tell me as well, I can write it down real quick.
Okay. Mine's easy.
Okay.
It's A Robinson, RN @msn.com.
Great. A Robinson @msn.com.
A Robinson, RN.
RN. Great. Got it.
At msn.com. Okay. Thanks so much. I do have to go, but thank you so much. Oh, look, Jennifer knows how to do it. I need to try to figure that out. She typed it in.
There we go.
Thanks for the info. I got to go, but thanks so much. I'm very interested.
Well, thank you. We're super excited about that as well.
Okay. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks,
Bye.
Amy.
Yeah. Ben wanted to go last minute this past year, but because I think she got kind of desperate for him to have some action in the world because of COVID. And she's really, really big on getting them off electronics. And so last minute she tried to go, but with the COVID and quarantining, she wasn't able to go. He wasn't.
Bummer.
There you are.
Get off.
I'm
You're
talking
back.
I know. I can hear it. It's cool. I'm just trying to get off.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm goofy like that. Hold on. Let's see. I don't know what I'm doing.
I had a question. So when I'm looking at the link, hold on. When I'm looking at the link, let me get to it. It's saying starter 1, $18.95. The 2-week sessions are all $32.50. The starter 2. So the starter 1 and 2, those are 1-week sessions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And why is starter 1 versus what's in
starter? Yes, ma'am. So starter 2 is our newest session. And part of it is a lot of kids are back in school then as well. But we had just opened up a couple years ago. So that's why we made that one a little bit cheaper, because toward the end of summer.
Okay. But all the same stuff offered? Like,
completely. All the same stuff offered. Yes, ma'am.
But
Wow.
whenever you go 1 week sessions, you don't get to do travel competition and get on a team.
ma'am.
So kids didn't get
Yeah.
on a team last year.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there's a typo. So it's supposed to be July 25th through 31st?
Yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry about that. That is
Problem.
very confusing. Thank you for pointing that out.
Okay.
Awesome. Well,
Great.
Jennifer, do you have any other questions about anything?
No, I mean, I think I went to camp, not obviously this camp, but when I was younger, I was fortunate enough to go. And yeah, I had such great experiences with it. And I'd love for my son to go. My daughter went to Young Life
Nice.
in Colorado. Not this summer, because they didn't have it this summer. She was really looking forward to going, but she went last summer, and she raised all of her own money, paid for it herself, and
Awesome.
like I was really like one. And but I, you know, he's 13, and I want him to be able to also have that experience. So yeah, I'm glad that getting this information at this time, so that way, if it is going to be possible to make it happen, that I'd be able to have enough time to start planning.
Yes, ma'am. That'd be awesome. And know that we do have some limited scholarships available. Some are based off need, some aren't. If that's something that you're interested in or think that y'all would need, just you could email our director of sales and marketing. I can put her email in here. And for the one based off need, you just email your W-2 if that's something you think you guys would need.
No, it wouldn't be need based. What is the other?
Yes, ma'am. The other one.
If it's.
Yes, ma'am. The other one is just with our alumni board. So our alumni board, they raise up funds, and then they're the ones who kind of review the scholarship. And then they divvy out because they have their own fund for that. So they haven't opened that up just yet, but whenever that happens, we can reach out to you and be like, hey, this is kind of the process for that, because they handle that one. So. And
does the child like submit something to like do that? Is it an essay or any sort of?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't remember right now. It's my second summer here since remember how to do scholarships, but I will find that out, and I can just shoot you that in your email as well to give you all of that information.
That email contact in the email you send me.
Yes, ma'am. So the contact I sent is our director of sales and marketing, and she handles a lot of registration. So if you have any other questions, you can email me. You can also email her as well.
So yeah, on the main page of Camp Huawni, like if you hit blog, that's the picture of my oldest son and his friend on there. On the blog right now.
That's
and
awesome.
it's a good picture, and when you see it, you're like, oh my God, they're having so much fun. I'm not worried about it. I think the best thing because of all this, and you're just like, oh, I just feel like, thank God they're off of every electronic and they're doing something.
Exactly, especially after all of this COVID, where a lot of kids were back home, or they're maybe doing online school, getting them away from technology. It's just so great.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about, because my son hasn't been interested in going to camp. He's kind of has, but he kind of hasn't. So I'm wondering, Katie, I need to get like my son with yours and let them chat. And
Miller doesn't talk much, but he will talk about camp. Like he can talk somebody into camp.
All right.
That's awesome.
Like I hear moms are like, oh, Miller apparently was talking to Kirk about camp. He had a friend go this year.
Nice.
And I wanted her to get on the call. She's like, Katie, I don't talk on calls. I don't do that. I don't like to be on the spot. But her went, and anyway, he had a blast. He was a hoot. Yeah. Everybody loved him, and Miller's he made everybody laugh. I do think what Miller told me the other day, he got in trouble once when he was there because he had on shorts underneath shorts, and he acted like he was going to moon his counselor and pull pants down, but it was shorts, and he had to sit out whatever, something.
Like
And I was like,
minutes.
got in trouble for that. That's
Hey,
bad.
I didn't handle that one. I don't know what happened with that one, but that's a bummer.
Anyway, it's just funny. He is a funny guy, and I think all the counselors really liked him because I was sitting right next to their car whenever and they just went on and on about him. You know, he just got a big personality compared to Miller. They're just like, oh, he's great, he's so nice, you know, whatever. But it's Kirk, definitely. I know Max has a big personality too.
Yeah.
Max, I think the biggest thing for Max that he would learn, or would benefit would be just to have some time away from us to kind of develop his own personality, like his own, me and his dad we're always around him. He's always with us. We did the Washington 6th grade trip, but I chaperoned. So he still did go on his own, which he said he didn't want to go to DC without me. So I want him to want to be without me for a little bit, like that. I could think. So, yeah.
And
I'm
I think
this year because he'll be 7-year-olds going supposedly right now. So we'll see.
Yeah. It is always interesting because a lot of these kids have never truly been away from their parents more than like a night or two. And even then, oftentimes it's with their grandparents or with people that really know. So coming to a camp, like I know for me, I was always really nervous whenever I'd go to a camp. Because I was like, I'm super shy, like nobody's going to talk to me and all this stuff. And thankfully we like teach our counselors how to, hey, this kid's being a little shy. Let's go hang out with them, or let's bring them into the fold. But by the end of the week, yeah, go for it, Katie.
You can see it. Yeah, you can definitely see it. Like, I think that's why Finn's a little quiet and reserved as well. And I think that someone probably tackled him. And I can remember going to our counselor meetings in the morning, and we'd talk about the different kids who's having issues, or maybe there's something that's going on, or maybe someone's not being nice, or someone's needs a bath. I remember talking about that. So I'm sure they do a good job of that. And Travis is really on bullying as well. Years ago, Miller was trying to say some older kids were bullying a little bit, the little kids. So I emailed Travis right away, and it's like, you know, Miller's never said this in school in his life. So he's not like I call bully. So he said there's nobody ever bullied him in his elementary school. So I emailed Travis. I think he got right on it. We never had a problem with it again. Yeah. And that he was doing extra bully training kind of stuff to make sure to watch kids that kind of like to pick on others.
Yeah, we really have just hammered in on like not bullying, on like, hey, counselors, make sure you're with the kids that we can watch out for that. And like at the first side of it, like we will step in gently, you know, and like read the situation. But that is something that if a kid's not having fun at camp, then we can't fulfill our purpose of them seeing their true significance and purpose. Plus, we just love these kids and we don't want anybody to make fun of them. So that's definitely something big we hit.
I think I'm that's kind of what I'm excited for, is, you know, for Max to be able to go and just, you know, you kind of get to go and have a fresh start because you don't have anybody that already knows you. And so you kind of take a few more chances, and it's so good for their character and just their self-growth, I think, to have that experience and that chance. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, like I said, we really do hope to see y'all next summer. In your email, I'm also going to send you some of the highlight videos from this past summer that you can show your son and let him see, and hopefully it encourages him like, hey, that place is actually pretty fun. It doesn't reveal any secrets, Katie. We don't tell any of the secrets in the videos.
No, I won't be secrets, but yeah, my husband really, really tries hard to find out about the secrets.
Really?
He's real upset about that he can't be part of it.
So I work here full time, and I don't even know the secrets. They won't tell me.
I asked if we could go to family camp, that way he could know all the secrets, and they're like, no, we don't. No, you don't get to do that. That's not how it.
Yeah, no, it's a bummer. I'm like, guys, I'm a director. I'm wearing the nice shirt. I'm here for 12 months out of the year. Does that count? And they're like, no, it doesn't count. So
you got to go as a camper.
Yes. So secrets are guarded in a folder in Travis's office. He has them. So, but yeah, they're all up there. But Jennifer, oh, you about to say something? Go for it.
What are secrets? I don't.
So each year you go with the fire she talked about. Like you go to the first fire and there's like a little initiation ceremony. And each year you go to like the next fire, and there's like a secret with it, and it's like, oh, that's really cool. It's nothing crazy. Like we're not throwing them on horseback and doing crazy things, but it is something that like encourages the people, I would assume. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. I just watch them walk away and I'm like, I wish I could know.